Hello, welcome to Rock Tumbling Weekly. I'm Shannon and I love rocks and gemstones, and rock tumbling is one of my very favorite hobbies. And if you're new to the channel, if you've just discovered this series, this is a weekly video journal documenting all of my rock tumbling projects, and I've got probably 5 barrels running at this time. So life is a little crazy right now, and I hope that you are all doing well. I hope that you're all in a comfortable space right now with your loved ones. And I wasn't really sure if I was going to keep my barrels running or not, because the schools are closed and I'm having to do a lot more homeschooling than I expected to do. But I figured if we're having to keep away from other people, then this is a good hobby to have. But I am going to make some modifications, and I'm no longer going to do anything that requires more than a once a week check. So until I finish the Lapis, or after I finish the Lapis, then probably no more vibe work until I can get some more time. And I'll be doing more harder stones, so less fragile stuff that needs a lot more attention, because I can really only dedicate 1 day a week to checking and cleaning and rotating my rocks and then filming it all. But I still want to have fun. So if you're brand new to rock tumbling, or if you used to do it and haven't done it in a while, and you're looking for a hobby for the family right now, then rock tumbling is a great hobby. And you can buy the supplies online, have them delivered, and it's a good science project for kids. It doesn't take a lot of time if you're doing harder stones like agates and jaspers. But I just encourage you to try it out if you've got some extra time while we are all staying in place. So, wishing you well, but let's get started and let's look at my projects. Here is the Lavic siding Jasper after yet another week in course. And, still we're getting closer, but none of these are, well, maybe 1 or 2 of them are ready to move on. But some of them still have just some minor issues that need to be taken care of in course. Like they're not going to be ground down very much in medium. So, I'm just going to take a look at all of these. Take out a few that might be ready. Like this one might be ready, actually. But, I'll take out a few, but mostly this needs to continue going. Like, oh, this one might, oh no, see, there's like that little pit right there. Otherwise, this one looks great. And it's got some issues right here that need to be smoothed out. So, when you're submitting something for a rock contest, those are qualities that definitely need to be worked out before you send these in. So I'm gonna look over all of these, pick out any that are ready to go to medium, and then get the rest back in course. The Smoky Quartz has just finished its 2nd week in course, and it's shaping pretty nicely. I do think I remember that Amethyst took about 4 weeks in course to really get the surface imperfections out and ready to move on. But I'm just enjoying the variety of the shades of gray in these stones. Really nice. So glad I started the Smoky Quartz, because it's not like black. It's like a dark gray brown. It's different from the other black stones that I have tumbled before. So I'm going to give these a good wash off, because I think there's still some slurry on some of these. and then get this back in a barrel with some more coarse. Here is the tree agate, and I believe this has been in 2 weeks in course as well. And wow, some of these pieces are just really looking phenomenal. I just love the designs in these. And just, you know, as trivia, the only difference between tree agate and moss agate is the white area opaque or not? If it's opaque, light doesn't shine through, it's tree agate. If it is like semi-translucent, then it's moss agate. But this is looking really gorgeous, but could just use a little bit more shaping. So I'll put this back in course for another week, and we'll see how it's looking then. I'm going to leave some of these more of a natural shape, but I would like a little bit more work on these done before I move them on to medium. The Girasol Opal is looking greatly improved. Like it's finally taking some nice shaping and looking really nice. So, but there is still a little bit more work I'd like done on these. They're not quite ready for medium yet. Like, I don't know if you can see that. There you go. Just some minor rough patches here and there. So I think one more week in course would do, and then I can check these over to see how many are ready to move on to medium. But looking good so far. Here's the lapis after 1 week in medium, and it's looking fantastic. This is exactly what I wanted it to look like right after this stage, and it's looking beautiful. You can really see a lot more of the pyrite in this batch. Now that medium has done some more work on it, it's looking really, really nice. Just a couple interesting things to notice. The slurry didn't smell all that great. I'm glad I washed it and rinsed it outside. And there seemed to be some chemical reaction going on in that slurry too. So, but I'm not going to keep it in rotary barrels any longer. This is going to move on to the tumble vibe. So I will put this in the tumble vibe for about 12 hours in fine. And then we will check on it then. Gorgeous. All right, I've had the Sunstone in polish for 12 hours, and let's take a peek at how the polish has done so far. You know, this is a stone that's really, really prone to chipping and cracking at any stage of the game. So the vibe runs have been really short. However, it has taken a nice shine. Now the big test will be giving these a good wash, rinsing them off and letting them dry and seeing how they look. And this is one I pulled out probably about 10 minutes ago. You can still see some white in those imperfections, and I don't know if that's just polish still that needs to be cleaned out or if that's the way it's gonna look, but that's what I'm gonna do now. But let me pull out one more just to see. We'll rinse it off with some clean water. Dry it off. And I can I can tell my fingers are still wet. So yeah, got some good shine on these. And the surface is feeling smooth. So I'm going to give these a good burnish, but I'm going to do it by hand so that it's not agitated any more than it needs to be. And then I'll show you what they look like after. Okay, here's the tumble vibe setup for the lapis. I have all the lapis and the ceramic media here in the tumble vibe barrel. And I have 2 teaspoons of fine grit, 5 tablespoons of sugar, and then probably not much water because the ceramic media and the stones are still wet. So probably like 2 tablespoons. But the sugar mixture helps to slow down the speed of the tumbling in the tumble vibe so that the lapis stones aren't crashing into each other, but they still get the benefit of the vibration and the grit grinding against the surface in there to smooth them out. So I'm going to put this in for 12 hours and we'll see them after that. The lapis has just spent 12 hours in the tumble vibe with fine grit, and the surface is feeling really smooth. I think 12 hours was just a really good time frame for the lapis because it's not a super soft stone, but it is prone to undercutting. So to minimize that, I just keep the time period in the tumble vibe down. But it's looking really gorgeous. Again, I warn that the slurry is a little stinky. Gets really dark. So just be warned when you open your barrels or your tumble vibe that it can be a little smelly. So now I'm going to run this for 12 hours in extra fine, and then it should be ready for polish. So let's get this back on the vibe. The lapis has just finished 12 hours in extra fine grit in the tumble vibe, and the surface is looking super, super smooth. This is a really fine quality batch of lapis rough, and it just looks really gorgeous. There's lots of that lovely pyrite and such a nice mix of like the blue and the pyrite and the white, and just really lovely specimens. So now that it's finished with the grit cycles, it's time for polish, and I'm going to get this really super washed off, do a couple of wash cycles, and get this in the tumble vibe with 2 teaspoons of cerium oxide. That's what I'm choosing to use on this batch. So let me get these washed up and get these into polish. Today I'm starting some Lake Superior agate. I've had this for a little while and I'm really excited to tumble this. Like right now it's rough. It's kind of smoothed out, but it's definitely still in a rough phase. So it's hard to know what is under the surface of these until after we run it in course for a week. But I know Lake Superior agate is really, really beautiful. It's got a lot of great banding and colors. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to get this running in this tumbler with some course. So let's get started on Lake Superior agate. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for viewing what I've got going in the barrels. And, I'm just gonna play this 1 week at a time. But I do hope to continue showing you more beautiful rocks and gemstones week to week. And again, I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you health and safety and security. And I'm hoping that everybody is doing well. So, see you again next week. Thank you so much.